Heart rate when swimming. Why is it so important to use it accurately according to your goals? Let's start with how to measure your heart rate. Place 2 fingers on your neck next to the Adam's apple using your right hand and feel your way up until you feel your pulse, which indicates the number of times your heart beats per minute. You can also measure your pulse using your wrist, chest, or temple. Once you feel your pulse, count your heartbeats for exactly 10 seconds and multiply by 6. So if your pulse is 22 beats per 10 seconds, it means a heart rate of 132. 22 multiply 6. At the end of this video, you will understand how to use your heart rate and what is the main purpose of heart rate zones for the average swimmer, and especially for swimmers over the age of 18. You can always use the pulse watch, but wear a tight shirt or a full swimsuit, otherwise the watch band might slip off due to male body structure when stretching the body in a narrow position while pushing off the wall, thus taking an inaccurate measurement. Why do we measure only 10 seconds and not 15 seconds or a minute? The answer is clear. After 10 seconds, our heart rate begins to slow, so the final result would not be accurate. In addition, in some exercises, we don't want to rest this long at the wall, but to take our pulse, mark our time, and continue swimming. So, when do we measure our pulse for a full minute? We do it in the morning after a good night's sleep and without working out the night before. This is our true resting heart rate, and it's very important to understand our heart rate chart. Resting heart rate for swimmers or long distance athletes is about 40 beats per minute. For the average person, it's about 65 to 70, and for non-athletes, it's close to 80. In this video, we will talk about the main heart rate zones and differences in our heart rates at every age. How do we calculate a heart rate? For men, 220 minus the age equals maximum heart rate. For trained people who work out twice a week or more, maximum heart rate is 220 minus the age plus 10. For women, 226 minus the age equals maximum heart rate. Using exact sample principle, trained women add about 10 beats per minute. So the more trained we are, the higher our heart rate is. The formula is maximum heart rate minus resting heart rate multiply intensity percentage plus resting heart rate. For example, for a man with a maximum heart rate 180 and resting heart rate 60, minus the heart rate at 75% intensity, meaning his aerobic heart rate, is 180 minus 60 multiply 0.75 plus 60 equals 150. This means the man's aerobic heart rate is 150 or 25 beats per 10 seconds. After we've learned how to calculate and measure heart rate, let's see what is the purpose of each heart rate zone. 50% heart rate is the classic heart rate for warming up, loosening, and especially for dissolving muscle lactic acid. We would always rather swim slowly than to end the workout without loosening. 50% heart rate should be 20 beats per 10 seconds for people ages 18 to 45, 19 beats per 10 seconds for people ages 46 to 65, and 18 beats for the age of 66 and over. 65% heart rate is the most important working heart rate for building aerobic capacity. This is actually the low aerobic range, meaning it improves aerobic capacity but allows an easier long distance swim with fewer breaks. This is also the correct range to work and minimal number of strokes because the muscles is warmed up enough, not oxidized or hard, and can be used to increase our motion range when swimming while protecting our joints. Most of the aerobic capacity build is done at 65% heart rate, which is about 22 beats per 10 seconds for people under the age of 45 and 21 beats at the age of 46 to 65 or 20 beats at the age of 66 and older. 75% heart rate is the classic aerobic range, which is very important after the aerobic build-up stage. After we build up an aerobic capacity and found the DNA swim style that fits us, we can swim a little faster and for longer distances. Nowadays, 70% of the post-aerobic build-up workout is done within the aerobic range. 75% heart rate should be about 25 beats per 10 seconds for people under the age of 45, 23 beats for people ages 46 to 65, and 22 for people ages 66 and older. 85% heart rate is the lactate acid threshold or the anaerobic range. It's important to feel our heart rate to get there, but not for long. At this heart rate zone, our body takes a long time to recover. It's harder to maintain the correct style, and we need more breaks during the workout. In West training programs, we will use this heart rate zone only during intensifying speed exercises in order to illustrate the differences between the different heart rate zones. 85% heart rate should be about 26 beats for 10 seconds for people under the age of 45, 24 beats for people ages 46 to 65, and 23 for people ages 66 and older. The last heart zone of 95% is hardly used in various exercises of West technique. We will only use it a few times throughout the session to improve speed. There is no need to measure it because it varies from person to person. Some trained swimmers ages around 32 might have a pulse of 27 after a very fast swim, while others might have a pulse of 32 per 10 seconds. You should build your personal heart rate chart after a stress test and the resting heart rate after a good night's sleep. Each of us is different, and in West technique training programs, we take into account the age, gender, physical ability, previous injuries, and personal exertion scale customized especially for you, so you can optimize your training, control your heart rate, and most importantly, enjoy the workout without getting hurt.